Hi guys, my name is Spencer and welcome to Sphinx Reads, and today I will be reviewing Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. Keeper of the Lost Cities is the first book in the Keeper of the Lost Cities series, which up to this point has 9 books. There's like books 1 to 8, and then there's a book 8.5 apparently, which you would think is like a shorter book, but it's actually a yay thick book. And this year, 2021, the last book, potentially book 9, is coming out. So Keeper of the Lost Cities is a middle grade fantasy novel where we follow our main character, Sophie. Actually, I'm just going to read the Goodreads summary of this because it's pretty straightforward. So after I read the Goodreads summary, then we'll talk about it more. So it says here, 12-year-old Sophie Foster has a secret. She's a telepath. She can read minds. Someone who hears the thoughts of everyone around her. She's living in the human world and she can hear everyone's thoughts, which must suck. It's a talent that she's never known how to explain. Everything changes the day she meets Fitz, a mysterious boy who appears out of nowhere and also reads minds. She discovers there's a place she does belong and that staying with her family will place her in grave danger. In the blink of an eye, Sophie is forced to leave behind everything and start a new life in a place that is vastly different from anything she has ever known. Sophie has new rules to learn and new... Wait a second. Okay, we talk a little bit about Fitz. She discovers that he is... Oh, it doesn't say it here. But, okay, I'll just tell you, because this is not really a spoiler, because she finds this out early on in the book. But Sophie finds out that she's an elf. Not in, like, the Lord of the Rings style or, you know, like tiny elves things. They're just, like, really advanced human beings. But Sophie finds out that Fitz is also an elf. Anyway, Sophie has new rules to learn and new skills to master, and not everyone is thrilled that she has come home to this elven world. There are secrets buried deep in Sophie's memory, secrets about who she really is and why she was hidden among humans that other people desperately want, would even kill for. In this page-turn debut, Shannon Messenger creates a riveting story where one girl must figure out why she is the key to her brand new world before the wrong person finds the answer first. Okay, that may have been a little too dramatic. But when I started this book, I had a lot of mixed feelings about it. I actually didn't like this book at all, like at the beginning. The writing style annoyed the heck out of me. The story does start off really quick, like it's eventful all throughout. There's never really a dull moment all throughout this book. It's just the writing, especially at the beginning. It was just really annoying. It had so many of my writing pet peeves. This is a common pet peeve, I think, but there's this common pet peeve among readers that when you read the line, they released a breath that they didn't know they were holding. And while Shannon Messenger didn't really say that, there was still this line. She released a breath that she was holding. Like, you just modified a little bit, and I did not like that part at all. Also at the beginning, Sophie kind of develops feelings for Fitz, and the way that it's described is like, there was that fluttery feeling again, and granted, this is for young middle grade. I am a middle grade reader, so younger books don't feel too young for me because apparently my brain works that way. And so if you are a younger middle grade reader, this beginning might not have bothered you or may not bother you. There's also a little bit of the not like other girls trope that goes on in this book. Also, I've seen some really funny reviews of this book that called Sophie sort of a snowflake, just like typical like blonde haired like main character. But anyway, those were a lot of rambly thoughts, but I had a lot of mixed feelings about this book. But I've decided that the prevailing one, like the most overarching feeling that I have about this book, is how much I enjoy this story. This probably seems like sort of opposite of what I was just saying, but I'll get to that later. It was such a fun book. I can't speak. This was such a fun book, and so many parts of it made me feel like a kid again. And this was probably due to the multiple childish, cheesy romances that go on. Sophie makes friends with these 3 boys on different occasions, and they have different personalities, but her friendships with these 3 dudes, like, top tier, like, made me feel like a kid again and make me want to have a childhood crush again. I did not just say that. The friendship in this book were just so perfect, like perfect for middle grade readers. Like, I've been telling my sister, like, I like this book, I actually enjoy this book, but I think you are gonna love this book just because of the friendships. They're just really pure and just really precious. This entire story felt like a Disney movie, like a well done Disney movie, like not like Artemis Fowl or Upside Down Magic or A Wrinkle in Time or pretty much any of the recent ones. The way that Sophie explores this new world that she's a part of, like the world of elves, was really fascinating. It was very reminiscent of Hogwarts, like with all the classes that she takes and all the magical things that she learns. So you know, if you're not about J.K. Rowling because of all the just everything J.K. Rowling really, and this might be a good substitute. I've heard that this is very much like Harry Potter, like it starts off being like a really young middle grade book, and as the series progresses, it becomes more mature. I can't say that yet because this is my first book that I read. Nevermore is another book like that, but we're not going to talk about Nevermore today. Ooh, also, our main character, she's kind of a Mary Sue. So if you're not about Mary Sues in books, this may not be the book for you. I personally found it a bit annoying that she was practically good at everything, and she was just like, she would be really shocked, like, oh my gosh, I'm good at this, and oh my gosh, I'm good at this. Even though she was practically good at everything except for this one thing that didn't really matter. I still feel that it was somewhat intentional. Like, it did kind of have a purpose to the story, which I'm not going to spoil. But if you are not about like almost perfect characters, then you might not like this book. But the main reason I love this book, aside from the friendships and the really cheesy childish romances that go on here, was the feels. Like, this book made me feel things like everything that Sophie felt. Wow, what is this going to say about me? But everything that Sophie felt, I felt all throughout this book. Like when she was happy, when she was giggly, when she was frustrated, when she was angry, when she was crying. Pretty much every scene that she feels things, which is probably every scene. I felt it all. Like, they hit hard. Sorry if this review is kind of all over the place, but I just have a lot of feelings about this book, and I did not expect to like this book as much as I do. Like, I would die for any of Sophie's friends. Probably not Sophie, though, because Sophie, even though I did feel her, like, every inch of her soul in me, like, I felt Sophie, but I didn't feel for Sophie, if you know what I mean. It's like, I felt like I was Sophie. What does that say about me? But you know how, like, you feel a character and how they feel about the other characters, but you don't feel for that character because that character is you, you know? Like, I don't feel for myself because I'm me, you know? I'm Sophie. Anyway, wow, I'm so sorry if this was all over the place. This is the 4th video I'm filming today, if you can't tell by the t-shirt I'm wearing. But overall, this book, it was very eventful. There's just a lot of action packed into this book. I absolutely love the story. The writing, not so much. I hope it does improve in the next books. This is a debut, so it's pretty forgivable. Because I've kind of felt the same way about The Land of Stories by Chris Colfer. The writing was just weird. It was really childish, a little bit too young for me. But I loved the story, absolutely loved it. And I feel the same way about Keeper of the Lost Cities. I do feel that there are a lot of unanswered questions by the end of this book. By the end of the book, I did feel like this was more set up for the rest of the series. It wasn't in an annoying way. Like, usually I say that like a first book in the series has to feel like a complete story on its own. It should be able to be a standalone. But for this one, definitely not a standalone because there are a lot of unanswered questions. But it did feel like a complete story. And at the end of reading this book, I can't imagine not wanting to read the next one. I'm definitely reading the next book. I'm really sorry, because this review was definitely all over the place. But if you have any more questions, because you probably do, because this review was all over the place, make sure to leave those in the comments. Or if you have read this book, let me know how you feel about this book. If you liked it, if you like hated it, did you feel the same way about the writing style? Did you pick up the rest of the series? How did you feel about that? Be sure to chat with me in the comments below. If you like this video, despite its rambliness, please give it a thumbs up. Please forget to subscribe so that you can do it later, and have a great day.